The energy in Paris was electric. It was Paris Fashion Week, when the city became the epicenter of style, luxury, and celebrity spectacle. Every cobblestone street in the French capital seemed to glisten under flashing cameras, and every elegant avenue brimmed with fashionistas, models, designers, and A-list stars. David Beckham had always been a fixture at Paris Fashion Week. The football icon, with his effortless charm and impeccable fashion sense, was as comfortable sitting front row at a Dyer show as he was bending a free kick into the top corner of a goal. But amid all the fashion madness, there was one thing that always remained his priority: football. And tonight, there was a match he simply couldn't miss. Paris Saint-Germain, his former club, was hosting an intense Champions League clash at Parc des Princes, and David, as a club legend, had an invitation to the VIP section. Though he had played in many iconic stadiums in his career, there was something special about returning to Paris, the city where he had played the final games of his professional career. He took his seat in the luxurious VIP suite, clad in a tailored navy coat over a black turtleneck, looking effortlessly suave. He adjusted the sleeves of his coat as he scanned the stadium. The crowd was a sea of PSG jerseys and scarves, the Parisians eager to watch their team battle for European glory. That was when he noticed someone familiar sitting just a few seats away. A man with brooding eyes, curly dark hair, and a rugged beard. He was clad in a sleek black coat, with a subtle hint of medieval charm in his demeanor. Kit Harington. The former Game of Thrones star was leaning forward slightly, watching the players warm up with intense focus. At first glance, Kit didn't strike many as a football fanatic, but David knew better. He had met Kit briefly at a charity event years ago, where they had exchanged pleasantries about their respective crafts. Kit had admitted he was a lifelong football fan, having grown up supporting Manchester United, David's old club. David smirked. He leaned forward, just enough so his voice carried over the hum of the crowd. "Didn't expect to see the king in the north here," he said. Kit turned, blinking in surprise before recognition dawned. A slow grin spread across his face. "Ah, the king of free kicks," Kit quipped. "I could say the same about you." David chuckled and extended his hand. Kit shook it firmly. "Didn't know you were into football," David said, eyeing Kit's enthusiastic posture. "Oh, I've always been into it," Kit replied. "Grew up watching United. Some guy named David Beckham was kind of a big deal back then." David smirked. "Yeah? Don't think I've heard of him." Kit laughed, shaking his head. "I had a poster of you on my wall when I was a kid. Not sure if that's cool to admit or a little embarrassing." David leaned back in his seat, looking amused. "I'll take it as a compliment." The match was about to begin, and the two settled into their seats. But as soon as the whistle blew, Kit's passion for the game became evident. He was fully immersed, leaning forward with every attack, groaning when PSG missed a chance, and grinning when the opposition's defense was broken. David, ever the composed and analytical football mind, watched the game with a more measured intensity. But he couldn't help but enjoy Kit's raw enthusiasm. At halftime, the two walked out to the VIP lounge, where glasses of champagne and fine hors d'oeuvres were being served. The chatter among the guests was a mix of French aristocracy, celebrities, and football legends. "So, what brings you to Paris Fashion Week?" David asked as they sipped on their drinks. Kit exhaled, running a hand through his curls. "A brand I work with invited me. I'll be at a few runway shows tomorrow. But honestly, I'm here more for the experience than the fashion." David nodded knowingly. "Same. Victoria's the real fashion expert in my family. I just try not to embarrass myself." Kit laughed. "You've been doing a pretty good job of that for years." David smiled. "And what about you? Life after Thrones treating you well?" Kit paused for a moment, considering. "Yeah. It took a while to figure out what was next, but I'm enjoying the process. Doing some theater, A few film projects here and there. Less swords, more scripts. David nodded. Must be nice to step out of that shadow. It is, Kit admitted. Though I'll always be grateful for Game of Thrones, even if people still call me Jon Snow. David smirked. Well, to be fair, you did know nothing. Kit groaned playfully. That line haunts me. As they laughed, a photographer snapped a picture of them, the flash catching both of them mid-conversation.